Hello everyone and welcome to the Gentleman Reviewer. So I'm really excited for this video today because this is my first video where I've had a company get in touch with me and say they would like me to review their product. That's pretty awesome for someone like me who's a little on the newer side for doing review videos. So this is the product that I'm reviewing for Berlin Notebook Company. So Peter from over in Germany got in touch with me and asked if I'd be interested in reviewing their notebooks because I post a lot with fountain pens. I do a quote of the day, and he was curious if or how well these would handle fountain pens in particular. So I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to do that for you guys. I can also test. I've got a dip pen that I'm going to do today. I've got quite a few standard pens from pretty basic like the Bic Crystal and the Precise V5 to like a Fisher Space Pen, a pen with a cross refill in it. So I'm going to do quite a bit. I'm going to go a little bit quick through this, but let's get into it and see how it goes. So a little bit about the notebooks. So like I said before, these are some pocket notebooks from the Berlin Notebook Company, and they're actually made in Berlin, Germany. So let me pull this guy off. So on the back here, it says that they're 100% recycled, and it's 100 GSM paper. Oh, it doesn't say on the back there that it's 100% recycled, but these are 100% recycled paper notebooks, which I really like. I mean, I like when companies recycle their paper. There we go. That's where I saw it, on the back of the actual notebook. So it's pretty cool that they would take old things and make something new out of it. So let's dive in a little bit to what these are. So these, I did measure them. They do measure about 16 centimeters tall and are 10.5 centimeters wide. So it's a little bit bigger than your standard pocket notebook that you have over here. So this Nomad is a standard, I think they're B6 size is what they are. If I have that right, comment below if I'm wrong on that. And you can see they're just a little bit wider and a little bit bigger. Not by a lot, but so a little bit. Might not be super comfortable to carry in your pocket. If I didn't mention before, this is 100 GSM paper. So the highest quality paper I've used is 120 GSM, and given that I've been through college, I've used a lot of the really cheap loose leaf notebook paper. Alrighty, let's get in with what Peter requested, especially the fountain pen part of it. So I've got 8 fountain pens with a bunch of different inks in it that I'm gonna go through this notebook for you guys. So let me go to the back page because, we'll do the front. Why not? So to start off with, I've got a basic Sheaffer VFM with I don't even know what brand this is, but it's an international cartridge that I got when I ordered my Nemesine fountain pens. Didn't have a brand on it or anything, and I just threw it in here. I always spell Sheaffer wrong, so I want to check and make sure I'm spelling it right. So Sheaffer VFM fountain pen, and this is a fine nib with no brand ink. I don't know what brand it is. I'm sure it has a brand name to it, but I don't know. So you can see on the back, you can't really see on the back because I don't have a good camera angle for you. No bleed through on that. No feathering really. Let's see how it does on. Pretty standard. Let's give it 5 seconds. Does pretty good. So passed on that one. This next one, I've got a Faber-Castell. I probably said that terribly, but I have Thornton Luxury brand black ink in it. So let's give that a shot. This one I haven't enjoyed too much. You can see that the ink is going pretty bad on the tip right there. So this is a can't write very well with my setup. And then Thornton's ink. Looks like it did dry pretty good. The G got a little smudged and the K got a little smudged. But otherwise, it did pretty good. That's not focusing very well on that. Otherwise, it did pretty good. So I'm already at the 5-minute mark, which I'm kind of surprised by. So I'm gonna go a little bit more quickly through this. So this is a Lamy Safari with Pilot Iroshizuku ink. One of my favorite blue inks. I mean, you can see on there, it's just an awesome deep blue. We'll check the back after we get a little bit farther through. This is a Nemesine Fission. And this also, oh, I'm getting some hard start there. So this is Nemesine Fission, and this one has the Pilot Iroshizuku Yamaguri, which is like a chestnut brown. You can't see it very well. This is an extra fine nib, which is kind of funny because they're both, I think they're both German. Yeah, the Nemesine is made in Germany, and so is the Lamy, but the Nemesine is a much thinner nib. So this is my Pilot Metropolitan. Ooh, I cannot spell right now. Pilot Metro, I was going to do that, with my Waterman ink. So that one does really well, actually. I like that one a lot. Smudge is pretty good. Let's try the 5-second on this one, since I really like the black on that. You're getting a really good deep black on that paper. So I really like that. Next, so this is going to be the first diamine ink on this. This is my Nemesine Singularity. So diamine ink, I've noticed, tends to be very wet. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to handle. You can see it's kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's very wet. Let's check the back. Oh, you know what? I've only got 2 more fountain pens to go through, and so this is Diamine Oxblood with a medium Japanese nib on the Jinhao X750. That Oxblood looks really good on this paper. If you let it dry, it's going to get a nice rust-colored tint to it, and I really like that on the paper. So this next one is my Twisby. I think that's how you say these. I've got Thornton's ink in it. Nope, I'm sorry. This is Pelican ink. So we want that one. This one's also an extra fine nib. So really quick, just so I have them all, Schaefer with the fine nib, Faber-Castell grip with Thornton's ink, Lamy Safari with Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki, Nemesine Fission with Pilot Iroshizuku Yamaguri, Pilot Metropolitan with the Waterman Intense Black ink, Nemesine Singularity with Diamine Prussian Blue, Jinhao X750 with Diamine Oxblood, and a Twisby Eco with the Pelican 4001 ink. Let's check the back and see if we had any bleed through. I can't tell if that's, nope, that is actually a mark on the paper right there. So that's not any kind of ink bleed through. If I were to take it off, you can kind of see some bleed through, but not much. So Peter, it looks like you're, just from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fountain pens that I tried on it, looks like your paper handled it pretty well. So I also wanted to check and see how it does with some standard pens. So this is a Bic Crystal. That actually feels really good. Really smooth paper, but it grips the roller ball really well. And of course, you can't do a pen test without a Pilot G2. And this is a 05. So it's handling the ballpoint pens really well. Here's a roller ball. So this is a Precise V5. Handling that well. Here's a gel pen. So this is a Zebra Sarasa. Let's see if we're having any. shadowing or ghosting that we can see. Very little. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but there's a very little bit coming through. Zebra F701 with the stock cartridge in it. I haven't gotten a Fisher Space Pen cartridge for it yet, but I do have my Fisher. I've noticed as I'm writing down with these, this handles a ballpoint really well. So it makes it feel really, really smooth. Here's one of my cheapest ballpoints, a Zebra F701, or 301, sorry. That actually feels really good with the ballpoints. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. So you can see it handles the ink really well. It feels really smooth while you're writing with each of those. Even the cheapest Bit Crystal, I know those are very good writing pens for the start. The F301 is probably one of my least favorite refills, just because it's not a very good ballpoint. And actually I've got, this one is my handmade hand-turned pen from Pens by Patrick, but this actually has a cross refill in it. That actually feels really good. I've had some problems with this refill on some other papers. That was my only critique to Patrick on this pen, is I don't like the refill as much. And of course, a pen test wouldn't be complete without a Parker Jotter. And this is just a standard Parker refill, so nothing fancy about that. The Quink Flow Parker refill, 1 millimeter, or one, I don't know, it's 1 millimeter. Medium point. And I was also curious, I'm already like 15 pens in, but I was also curious how it would handle mechanical pencils. This is my Pentel Quicker Clicker. It feels really smooth. I kind of like that. And of course, you gotta have a Rotring in there. So this is my Rotring 500. Feels a little bit grittier with the Rotring lead though. I don't know why that would be. Let's see, I'm interested in this one. This is Kuru Toga lead. So the reason I'm interested in that one is because it tends to be a little, or they make it to where it's softer on the outside to where it can grip when it's twisting the lead in the pen, so it's able to keep a pretty consistent point and you don't end up with the wedge-shaped tip. So here's some Pentel lead on my Graph Gear 1000. Ooh. That one actually feels really good, the Pentel lead. I like that a lot. Really, really smooth. And last but not least, just my Stettler. Okay, and one last pen that I've got for you guys, and I'm really just doing this because I think it'd be fun, or I think it's fun. I've got my dip pen with just some basic Higgins calligraphy ink. Let me get that out of the box. These ones, this one's kind of like the wettest writing pen that I have. Okay, let's see how it goes. So super wet, and that was a really bad D, but I kind of wonder if that's going to bleed through. I'm actually impressed because I haven't seen any feathering yet. So this has been really good. There was no feathering on the fountain pens. I'm not even seeing feathering on this dip pen. It's already drying right there. And you can see, I don't know if you can see that. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. But no feathering on that at all. So I'm actually pretty impressed with that. So I'm just about at the 15-minute mark. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use these for a week like I would a standard review with all the pens probably that I've already done so far. Let me give you a quick summary of this since I did so many pens. So as far as the fountain pens go, there was no feathering even on this Jinhao X750, which is my wettest writer with a very wet ink, the diamine oxblood. So it really handled that fountain pen ink well across the board. Most of these are fine or extra fine nibs because that's what I prefer. I tend to have very small handwriting. I did a variety of ballpoints and roller balls right here. It handled all of them well. My only critique on the Pens by Patrick pen that I had made was the cross refill, and this paper actually handled it well. It seems to be a little bit, I don't know if grippy is the right word for it, but it caught the roller ball well, or the ball in there well, and just wrote very well. It's also with the gel pens, it's really showing the ink really well. It handled the mechanical pencils. I mean, I wasn't doubting that. I just wanted to be thorough on this initial review. And then I'm still like no feathering on the dip pen, which is the wettest writer that I have on a very wet calligraphy ink. Very good job. So Peter, I hope you like this so far. I'll get in touch with you and let you know that I posted this. And give me any feedback that you got. I'll be using this for a week, posting some pictures on my social media accounts, and then I'll do a more thorough review as to how I like the paper. One thing I did notice though right there when I flipped it over, there is some bleed through on the dip pen. So, only thing that I've noticed on this so far. So dip pens might not be the best thing to use on this, but you probably need some pretty thick paper. All right, I'm at the 17-minute mark just about. Pretty long initial review, but wanted to be thorough on this one. Let me know what you guys think. I was a little bit quick. I'll be a little bit more slow on the actual review next week. Hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you at the next one.